Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the Premier League reaction on ShootOut, back in the studio. Eunice and I drew last week, 6 points each.
Indeed.
Which I think, what's more impressive? A correct score? I reckon you getting 6 results correct is more impressive than me getting Chelsea right.
To be fair, I've not got one proper score this week, but I've got loads of outcomes, and you just got Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 3.
I started well. That's where we're going to start this video
proper
too.
Chelsea.
Proper Chelsea, mate. No, I think you went first and said 2-0. And I was like, I can't go same result for the first game and it be Chelsea. Like, I'm going to just go for it, mate. 3-0.
It worked.
And we did it. I think
worked.
a lot of people are saying that was an undeserved 3-0, which I don't know if I fully agree with that.
I disagree with that.
I think the first half we were...
I get it, but I disagree.
I disagree. I think second half, the way we changed the game was fantastic.
Oh.
Maresca's substitutions, even though the gaffer weren't even on the bench, he was closer to Marinakis than he was our own players.
Yep.
I think Maresca did a fantastic job. And I think Chelsea did a fantastic job. That second half was sublime, wasn't it?
It was blitzing. The first half was poor. Really poor. You could argue Forest were the better team. It's funny, people will say, Forest had chances. Forest could have put their chances to bed and they would have got something. Every time that's flipped, and we see obviously from a Chelsea perspective, but we had chances, we could have, everyone's like, no, but it's about the result. But make your minds up. Do you know what I mean? Make your minds up. Forest had a great first half. Second half, we come all guns blazing. Maresca managed the game really well, which is what he needed to do, because we've seen prior games where he just let things go when things started to get, under pressure. And we come out in that second half just looking to just kill. And
it was like the Wolves game
we've done that
last season. Remember the first half at the Molineux was just like pure dross.
Yeah.
And we came out of second half, and Donny Madueke actually, funnily enough, on that day decided that he was a baller. And we showed up. I think Neto was great. I think Joao Pedro deserves a lot of praise, actually, because
yes,
I didn't really talk about him too much in my match review, which is why I like doing this video with you, because it gives me a bit more time to kind of like analyse things and watch things back again. I think right now he's getting a lot of criticism because he's playing as a striker, because a lot of people maybe think he is a striker. I never have, and I saw that he could play there, and I was like, oh, well, at least he can play there. Mark Guiu came on and played like a proper striker, which allowed Pedro to drop deeper, which is where he's at his best. And I think there were so many moments in this game where you can see his hold-up play, you can see where he wants to be on the pitch and how he can be influential. And I think it's too easy right now, and I don't think Joao Pedro is the first striker that I'd be going for in the Premier League right now for not scoring goals. No. I can think of another geezer who's worth apparently 3 times as much, who just can't find the net for love nor money. But, we won't talk about that, will we? No, we won't talk about that. We'll talk about Joao Pedro. I thought he was good, mate. I thought everybody was good, really.
And the key to Joao Pedro having a good game, at least in the second half, was, funnily enough, Mark Guiu.
Yeah.
Joao Pedro, it's beginning to look clear that he operates better just tucking in a little bit in that sort of 10 role, or at least as a second striker. But when you stick him up as a number 9, basically up top, don't get me wrong, this is why I was all for it. The guy can finish.
Oh, yeah.
Like, give him the ball, he's sticking it in.
Asked
he knows where it is.
Asked on a rumor.
No need to worry about what he can do there. But it's actually the amount of service that he gets in that role is actually not that much. And it's more going down the flanks. And then you see players like Pedro Neto or if it's Garnacho or whoever trying to just influence the game. And Joao Pedro is almost like almost marked out of the game. But when he now starts to drop a little deeper and tries to find more space and gets more involved from deep, you see the elements of his game. And Mark Guiu coming on to be the number 9 up top liberated Joao Pedro.
You can say it marked him in.
He should do stand-up.
I don't know why I find that so good. I was like, I'm going to interrupt Eunice here. I'm going to just throw that one in there. Rubbish banter, rubbish joke, Tuesday morning. Get over it, Benson. You're right, though.
Yeah.
Mark Guiu just did influence the game because he'll do all of that dirty work.
He does it well.
And he does it really well. Like, how many strikers these days do you actually get that from?
Yeah.
Like, I think Delap you would, but I almost feel like Delap's a forgotten man now because he was out injured, in the second game of the season? When Delap is back, right, I think Maresca's going to have such a big dilemma as to who plays where or who actually plays, because Delap as a striker, he is a striker. He's a number 9. There isn't any of this, could he be a 10? No, he's a 9. He's a straight-up striker. Harry Kane regen, mate, all right? That's
Proper
what he's going to
target
be.
man. Yeah.
Proper target man. So then what happens when Palmer's back? What happens then when Delap is there? Like, do we try and play 2 10s? Because I think Joao Pedro is too good of a footballer to not play.
I agree. And yeah, you could make that case, but this is where it's a nice problem to have, because as long as we stay in all these competitions and we're still playing all of this, we're gonna have to rotate. We're gonna have to use various players at different parts, because you can't just go with the same 11 every single game. We'll get burnt out, and knowing us, we'll probably end up injured. So we're gonna have to look after everyone. Everyone's gonna have to play their part. But with Mark Gue, he's the one that we've looked at and gone, you don't expect too much from him. Especially the way that we brought him back, and it was kind of last minute and all of that. But in these last 2 games, he's come in clutch. And we needed someone to come in clutch, and it's been Mark Gue. So now it's a case of, look, we don't expect too much. We know he still has to develop. He's been fairly raw, but he's doing the most important stuff right now. Keep it up.
We also heard that he went to Maresca and was like, what do I have to do to play? And I think that's
fantastic.
Yeah, that's the right attitude. Apparently, and again, this is all hearsay, but I believe it. Because I don't think if Mark Gue's like banging on the door, like, why am I not playing?
Yeah.
Don't think that's just going to get you straight in the team, mate. But if you go there with the right idea, knowing that Maresca has roles for players, like when you're here, this happens. When this guy's got the ball, you should be there. It's about understanding. He's young. He just wants to run around and get the ball and try and score goals. Like I love that in a striker. But with Maresca, there's a lot of nuance to the game.
Yes.
So I think that's a great approach from him. But we can't obviously not discuss the eventualities from this football match, which we kind of foreshadowed a little bit here in the old ShootOut channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, by the way. Ange Postecoglou.
Well, in that case, hang on. It has to happen, right? So, Ange.
Oh, here we go.
We spoke before the game, and we knew there was a chance you could be getting sacked. Well, I'm sorry to hear that's happened. How are you feeling? What's your thoughts?
Australian summer's coming, mate. It's okay. I can go back home now. I've lost my tan. England's getting colder. I'll just go home for a little while, mate. It's okay.
Were you sacked in the tunnel?
No, mate. No. I was knocked out by Marinakis. Whatever his name is.
Oh, he punched you in the face?
Yeah, mate. Knocked me right out. Oh, clean. Clear as day.
Mate.
Yeah, mate.
Mate.
I've had enough, mate. I don't want to play in England anymore. Sorry, manage in England anymore. I'm not doing it. I went a little bit Sean Dyche there for a second, didn't we?
It was turning.
Funny that. It was turning to the new Forest manager. Maybe I should just be permanently just doing Nottingham Forest managerial impressions. I'll work on the Dyche for you for predictions coming on Friday. But yeah, he's gone, mate. Yeah, he's gone.
And we heard there was a couple of different variations of what happened.
Yeah, people trying to sell stories again, innit?
Yeah,
I think he just got sacked, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'd love to be here, like breaking more news, but I think he just got fired. I think it was obvious.
Liv come out after the game because she was in the tunnel, and she was saying how there was like Edu was trying to be pushed as the guy to go and do like the press or go and do like the interview, and he just was like no. So no one did it.
No.
But word started going around the tunnel, and all of a sudden Marinakis apparently wasn't there. He'd left. Like when we saw him get out of his seat, which was just absolute cinema, by the way, when we saw that empty seat and then the camera pans over to Ange's face, I mean, that was just straight out of a blockbuster movie, wasn't it? But when that happened, apparently, like we were all saying, he's gone to the office to print the P45. Apparently, he actually just left the ground. Just went home.
I think it's kind of like he's got to swallow a slice of humble pie, really, hasn't he? Because he, for whatever reason, I don't know the ins and outs. Nobody really does.
No.
But from the outside looking in, just from a basic psychological level, there's a lot of ego in this man. There's a lot of, well, yeah, okay, you're the owner, so technically you can do whatever you want. Sure. But how can you take a team that were doing so well, overachieving, whether you're a Forest fan who thinks you should be there or not? A lot of older Forest heads will probably think, yeah, we should be back in European football as 2-time winners of the competition, Champions League days. But like, surely you've got to realise that if you sack Nuno Espirito Santo and you bring in Ange Postecoglou, you've made your bed. Now lie in it.
Yes.
And then you go to Sean Dyche, who, look, Sean Dyche, we all know what he's about. I'm very happy that Chelsea don't have to go to Nottingham Forest away, because then we might as well have just gone out and had a boat party, mate, and enjoyed the 0-0 from afar. Oh, what's the score, Eunice? 0-0, mate. Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, like, I think Forest are in trouble, mate, to be honest. I think they could actually go down.
It screams volumes, as far as I'm concerned, that they approached Mancini first, spoke with him. After a bit of a process, it just didn't happen.
Mancini didn't want the job.
Exactly. Well, that's what it seems like anyway. That's what it screams at face value, that Mancini's just like, nah, I'm not doing this. And look, there's owners that come in to try and make big differences and all that, and I get it. But in this case, I think he's had an absolute stinker. And as much as people can say that he was a big part of the reason that got Nottingham Forest to that incredible spot last season, he's also the reason that's brought them right back down.
Yeah.
And that's just, I ain't got words, because as you said, like the whole thing looks pointless. The whole thing now looks like a waste of time.
Yeah.
You've gone from Nuno, who unexpectedly done very, very well, and then it just, when it mattered most, went sour. Go to Ernst to change the entire direction, to then get him gone in 39 days, to now go to Sean Dyche.
There's been movies made about things like this.
Mate, and you now have a manager that's just renowned on keeping teams afloat and not getting relegated. And that's not good. What I will say is, though, the one small beacon of hope, and let me know if you reckon there's any possibility. I personally don't, but you never know, because Nuno was never seen as a manager that was going to get Nottingham Forest to a European spot at first, right? And you saw his track record. Everyone kind of started looking down on Nuno a little bit. Then he done that with Forest because it just worked in that specific environment.
Yeah.
Can Sean Dyche replicate that and become something similar? I don't expect it, but I guess you never know.
I think he could, but then I also think that what you've seen from the owner is actually a louder noise than what Dyche can create in the changing room, in the dressing room. I think Sean Dyche is a brilliant person to come in and put a bit of law and order out. But I don't necessarily think the players are the ones that are flippant here. I don't think it's the players that are letting anyone down. I just think it's the owner. It's like, you can't... I'm trying to think of an analogy here, but it's evading my brain. I think he's the problem, and I could easily see it going further south in the sense of they've got some really good players there, right? Like, you keep Morgan Gibbs-White, you force him to stay by the looks of things too, like that in itself needs to be referenced again and again and again. How do you keep these players that are too good? Murillo,
I was going to say.
How do you keep these players at Forest now?
Yeah.
When you know that there's always that little noise at the very top that's going to be destabilising everything?
I was thinking this. So this summer or next summer coming up, if anyone wants really decent players on a good price, go to Forest, Chelsea.
Murillo. An exodus might well be happening. Should we move on?
Yes.
Let's go on to Sunderland, who've done it again, mate. They just keep on ticking over, don't they? 2-0 winners against the Derby Sheffield United elect, really, isn't it? Like, they're in that category right now. Wolverhampton Wonderheads, as I used to call them when I was a child. Don't know why. Don't ask why I brought that up now. But yeah, easy win for Sunderland once more.
This was expected.
Yeah.
Although it's mad because obviously we didn't watch this entire game. But
No.
Wolves actually, technically, statistically, I don't normally do this because I'm not a stats guy, but statistically, Wolves dominated.
Possession-wise, yeah. They had more
All sorts.
shots. They had more shots on
everything.
target. Everything.
But they lost 2-0. So this is the history of the Wolves.
At this point, they're
Right
right
now.
in their own script, aren't they, really? Yeah. Sunderland, again, top half of the table. We've obviously done our Premier League predictions during the international break. If you didn't check that video out, give that a little watch because it's looking good for me right now. Not that it looks good for any of us, really, right now. But prediction-wise, we'll get onto them later.
Yep,
But Sunderland just doing bits right now.
They actually are. And you thought Wolves would win 1-0.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I said Wolves will win 1-0.
Yes.
No, I
And
didn't.
I said Sunderland to win 3-0, which I got wrong.
I don't think I did.
Blimey, shall I just give a score now? Should we just get straight into this?
We can, to be fair.
The nitty and the gritty big units talks.
Yeah, we actually can. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I can't lie.
2-1 Sunderland for me.
No way.
Yeah, I think Sunderland are going to win. Wolves are pretty abject.
Are you trying to...
If I've got these two switched around in the wrong order, then it's that.
I said Wolves, Sunderland would win. 2-1
Where are you getting that?
from our video. I actually won this week.
Nah, have a listen.
There's no way.
Fair play. He's won. He's actually won.
I won. Eunice has tried to scupper me. I'm a champion.
After 16-minute stoppage time.
Cole Palmer against his boyhood club, mate. Manchester United.
And it's like you've taken a shot and it's hit someone on the head, then it's tapped someone on the knee, then it's gone in between the keeper's legs, hit the post and gone in.
That's exactly how I thought Beto was going to score the winner against City, which didn't happen.
Which, by the way, Beto missing that chance that came across the box. I'm like, like
This is funny. We've almost had an iconic weekend of predictions, really, but Beto, don't bet on him. Honestly.
Honestly, don't.
The clue is in the name. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Burnley 2, Leeds United 0. I got this I got this result right, I think. Didn't you put a draw?
I
for
put a
this
draw.
one?
Yeah. I
Burnley
put 1-1.
win 2-0. Leslie Ugochukwu scoring a header.
Yes.
Nice little goal. Good win
Yes.
for Burnley this one. We said we wanted a Scotty Parker win, didn't we?
Yep.
He's done it.
And he has. And that's a really, really good result because we were praising Leeds in terms of how they were playing, even though results were not exactly what they could have got, but they were playing really well. The Tottenham result, for example. And this is why I looked at it and thought, you know what, they might cancel each other out because Burnley at home are not, just walkovers.
Yeah.
But they've actually played really decently and they got themselves a really good result. So fair play.
Do you know what
It's
I
not
think is going to
easy.
be a problem for Leeds?
What?
I think when you look at those promoted clubs, obviously Sunderland are right now kind of in a league of their own comparatively.
Yeah, and that was expected.
I think Burnley have got more quality to be able to go and win those kind of games. I think Leeds, like Calvert-Lewin, like he's trying bicycle kicks and he's almost sent it out of Turf Moor, mate. Like, I don't know if Leeds have got the strikers, the goal scorers necessary in order to be able to win enough of these games. And I think as much as we obviously watch Leeds a bit more than I've watched Burnley because we've gone and watched Leeds games with Leeds mates of ours. But like, I feel like they play some good enough football, but it's as soon as it gets to putting it in the net, they can't. They don't have the people to do it.
That's exactly it. And we're speaking to a couple of Leeds lads as well, and they were saying the exact same thing. Is their entire build-up is actually really impressive.
Yeah.
Even defensively, they're actually quite decent. They maybe have a couple of lapses of concentration at the back sometimes, but their main issue is the final third. And being able to just convert, that entire build-up and actually come off with a chance that they can put to bed. They just don't put to bed. And look, you can have the best looking build up in the world. If it doesn't convert to a goal, you might as well just lump it up to a flipping number 9 and hope for the best because you're just wasting your time at that point.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
That's for after we finish.
Podcast coming soon. Trust me, we've got to do it, haven't we? Palace 3, Bournemouth 3. What a game.
Cracker.
We knew this was going to be a good one, didn't we?
Yep, cracker.
We both said draw, I think.
We
Have you got
Did?
this wrong as well?
Where's Yeah, we did. 1-1 and 2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, I mean, what angle to start with this one? Like, okay, yeah, you could kind of expect this because they're two very good teams.
Yep.
Bournemouth just look like they can score at any given moment. Krupi scoring 2 goals, who was an exciting signing who's been had a bit of a slow start, but he gets himself 2. But Mateta, man, we were talking about Mateta when we were watching Liverpool, being like, how better off would Liverpool have been instead of buying Ekatike and Isak, basically the same player-ish. And then you've got Mateta just scoring goal after goal after goal. And Crystal Palace were never in front in this game. Mateta scoring 3, hat-trick, to not win the football match. And then at the end, he could have won it. It should have been 4-3 Palace in the 100th minute. Mateta should have had a 4th, but he didn't. But I think this is a good result for both teams, really.
Yeah. This is one of those games where you can't be disappointed.
No.
If you're Palace or if you're Bournemouth, you can't be disappointed. Because both teams come into this game looking really strong in their own right. And it's like we said in that preview, we had the good feeling they were just going to cancel each other out because of that.
Yeah.
But the way that it went down was unexpected. I thought Palace would be on the front foot, not Bournemouth. Bournemouth I thought would be doing the catching up, but it was the other way around. Bournemouth had a fantastic start. Once again, Semenyo. I mean, yes, Groupie was the one who scored, but that was courtesy of Semenyo as well. fantastic player Semenyo is really turning out to be this season. Just unbelievable contribution from him. But Bournemouth going up in the way that they did, I think put Palace into a little bit of shock. Now, Palace being able to come back from that deserves credit.
Resolve, mate.
Resilience.
Yeah, resilience. Big up.
And
Big up.
Mateta is just looking class. And it's baffling because when you look at Mateta and you look at his rise now, you look at him and think, you must be like 22 or 23, really starting to come into your game now. No, he's 28. He's technically at his prime right now.
Have you seen the beef with Wilfried Zaha?
No.
So apparently, and again,
He's got beef.
Wilfried Zaha's been posting social media content whilst playing in Charlotte in America, right? Because he plays for them now.
Is that where he is?
Yes, Wilfried Zaha is there.
Wow.
And he's, early 30s? Not too much older than Mateta. But basically, Mateta apparently has said something along the lines of Wilfried Zaha and a few other Palace players just laughed in his face when he said he would get in the France national team. Because he couldn't even get in the Palace team at the time in which this happened. Zaha's obviously come out and been like, nonsense. Never said it. Didn't say that exactly. Why would someone say something so disgusting, basically?
Okay.
Don't really understand why that's happening now. I look at it and think, why would any footballer who's scoring hat-tricks for Crystal Palace and renowned as one of the best strikers in the Premier League, now actually playing for the France national team, why even bring up a Crystal Palace legend for no reason? Or, why? Just focus on your footy, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just play football and score goals.
This is the thing. If this was said, and he's kind of like, ha, see, told you,
Yeah.
mug.
I think Zaha's the one who's blown it up a bit.
And it just feels unnecessary. The whole thing just feels unnecessary. But Mateta, who is in the France national team now, he got that call up. He's now there. He's playing. He deserves it. He's looking seriously reliable. My question is, how much is he going to go for?
Well, the money is...
If he even leaves. But if Palace entertain a move or bid, let's say, how much are any team going to have to pay for Mateta right now?
What's his contract? How many years has he got left at
Good
Palace?
question.
That is a very good question because he is quintessentially, I think, so many Premier League. I think almost. Do you know what? I think every single Premier League club could do with signing Mateta, and I include Man City in that because if something happens to Haaland, I think they would need a Mateta. Liverpool should have got Mateta over Isak. Chelsea currently have Mark Guiu as a striker. Mateta's a better Premier League striker than Victor Gyökeres. And from that point, I think every other team would naturally want a player who scores goals like that.
Agreed. I don't think he's that difficult to acquire as well. At the moment, if I'm not mistaken, he's got a contract until 2027.
Jean-Philippe on the market, boys.
Salary of 50k a week. I know. He's really affordable.
Oh, do you hear that?
He's really
God,
affordable.
I almost popped my chest out. Bloody hell.
He's actually really affordable. But when the demand gets high and the fee starts rising, what is it going to rise to? I wouldn't be surprised if Palace started asking for we want 100.
100 million for Jean-Philippe Mateta.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Don't want to say it, mate, but the game might have disappeared.
Game's
really,
gone.
really could have
Game's gone, lads. Game's gone.
Speaking of someone who's not gone, and he's not going anywhere, Daniel Welbeck.
Mate.
He just keeps on cooking, doesn't he? Brighton 2, Newcastle United 1.
Yes.
You said the Brighton would win this.
I said Brighton
well
would
done.
win. This was one of my great outcomes this weekend because for me it was almost written. This is like the theme of Brighton. You know, they get a big team that visits their ground. All of a sudden, Brighton are unbeatable, and they rely on a Danny Welbeck to come out and get them a flipping winner. In this regard, I think Welbeck is underrated.
Massively.
Massive.
No doubt.
But at the same time, it's would he be the same at a big club? Maybe not. It's almost like this dynamic he's got at Brighton just works perfectly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's not much pressure, but when you call upon him, it's don't worry, I'll sort this out.
How would he do at Newcastle?
This is the thing. Exactly.
Because Newcastle, I'd say, a bigger club than Brighton for sure.
Yes.
And, well, I mean, Voltemade scored again for Newcastle, if I'm correct.
He did. He's been doing fantastic, man.
I think he's a great player. I really, really like him. I like him. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy watching him. I think he brings a bit of box office. But Newcastle are just, there's quite a lot missing. I think they might struggle against Benfica, which, by the way, Champions League predictions will be out later today, right?
Yep.
Yep. 2 videos today on ShootOut, of course, both from the studio. But Brighton just, again, I think they're kind of trying to identify what their season's going to be. They need to go on a run. And they've got Man United this weekend, who traditionally, at Old Trafford, they do very well. So Brighton are kind of in this, like, catch-22 bubble right now. So they need to build upon this. Danny, go back to your home, Old Trafford, if you call it that, if you see it as that, and just do it again, all right? Stop doing it against Chelsea. Do it against Man United. And then Brighton will be in good form, I'd say.
They are. Right now, them and United are basically neck and neck in the Premier League table. So yeah, this is it's a 6-pointer technically.
Big time.
So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Newcastle, I don't want to say that Newcastle been poor or anything like that. For me, like I said, I expected this Brighton result. It's one of those places you go to, you're just not picking 3 points up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you do, it's actually quite impressive. So Newcastle just need to dust it off and move on to the next one, I reckon. But Brighton, fair play and well done to Danny Welbeck.
Jose Mourinho's Benfica's the next one for them
up the
on
Jose.
Tuesday or Wednesday night. Erling Haaland FC 2, Everton 0.
Called this one as well.
This is, Beto let me down. It was one of my rogue ones. We'll move on from it. But Haaland is on another planet right now. Like, this guy is outrageous, bro.
You know what I've realised? And this might be Pep, and this is where I say, because I don't want to say I've been criticising Pep, but I've been saying that Pep is looking like he's starting to get figured out. Well, I think it's starting to look like he might have gone back to type. And what's gone back to type? Gone back to type is when City signed Haaland, and they weren't playing the free-flowing football that everyone expected them to play with Pep, but they were like, look, just get the ball to Haaland and we're going to score.
Yeah.
It looks
like the old
they've
Man
resorted
United
back to
song.
that.
When he gets the ball, he scores a goal. Andy Cole. It's been about childhood memories today. My granddad used to sing that, and it's always stuck in my head.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like what they're doing with Haaland now.
There wasn't a song for Dwight York, was there?
There might have
there?
been, but I
There might
don't
have
know.
been.
I'm not a Man United fan. Don't know.
But
It's this what it is, isn't it? Get the ball to Haaland, he scores you a goal.
But this is the thing. At that time, we all remember people were saying, "Oh no, but Haaland doesn't fit the way City play. He's scoring, but he doesn't fit." Right now, Pep's just like, "I probably don't care about how we're playing. Look, just get the ball to him. We'll score. We'll win." Because they actually need it. They've been in a big patch of form that's just been really poor. So now it looks like they've gone back to some sort of type where it's just, yeah, look, Haaland's going to be the guy. Everyone just respect it. Get the ball to him, let him finish, and we'll win the league. It's probably what City are thinking right now. So it is probably their best chance of doing so. I don't blame them for going in that direction.
To be honest, and if we can segue this into Fulham 0, Arsenal 1, isn't that what we're hoping for right now? Haaland just keeps scoring goals and City can just make sure that they don't win it? Because can I say one thing that's really winding me up?
I know where you're going.
Proper. Can you stop with all of these pointless statistics saying Arsenal are on course to break the record of goals conceded? Shut up, mate. Just stop with all of this false-feeding nonsense. Arsenal will not break Chelsea's defensive Premier League record. So stop trying to, write these headlines before they've even happened. Chelsea actually did concede that many goals over the whole season. Stop saying they're on course. No, they're not. They're not going to do it.
They're actually not on course.
It's winding me up, bro. So many people talking about this.
And it's easy to look. So there's 8 games that's been played, right?
Yeah.
They've let in 3.
Yeah.
Don't get me
very
wrong.
good.
That's fantastic.
Excellent. Well
so
done.
far, that's fantastic, right? That's still not enough.
No.
That's how incredible Chelsea's performance in that season was. 15 goals in the season over 38 matches.
Yeah.
They've already conceded 3 over 8.
Yeah.
You're not reaching 38 and only conceding 15 at that rate.
No.
You need even less.
Yeah.
So if they go the next 3-4 games without conceding the goal, then we can talk. Then we can go, you know what? Now you're actually just on the path. It's still not guaranteed, but the ratio that you need to get to concede 15 in 38 games, you're already overdoing it, and you've just conceded 3.
I think Arsenal
It's
will
impossible.
win the Premier League this year, but they won't break that record.
No one will ever hit that record again.
No.
No one's coming near. Just forget it.
Unless Mourinho comes back.
Even then. Even then. There is no one touching that record ever again.
No.
What else I want to say, right, is when we done the Liverpool United watch along,
Yes.
and we were celebrating at the Man United Harry Maguire winner, which we're gonna come to, right? Everyone's like, hang on. Do you want Arsenal to win the league? Why are you celebrating? It's 8 games played.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 games played. And I don't know about you, but when I see Liverpool in this sort of form, I start to think, you know what? What can we do? I don't want to have
Fully
to rely
agree.
on anyone else now to try and stop Arsenal when I know that the gap between everybody has now just shortened.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought this up because this is a really big point. And obviously, like I've seen all the Big Six content, and obviously we know the stories there and whatnot. Fair enough. But I'm with you here. I genuinely think now I want Chelsea to go on a run. The amount of injuries,
Yeah.
we're decimated with injuries. We are closing in on everybody else, bar Arsenal, because they do keep winning, which deserves praise and it deserves credit.
Yep.
But no, I'm not going to be hoping for Liverpool beating Manchester United. I'm not worried about Man United. I'm not worried about
Exactly.
them. Liverpool, obviously I am. I still think at some point it will click and this run of losses will end. It will.
Of course.
Absolutely it will. So for me, I'm like, no, God, I want Chelsea to be up there as high as possible.
Exactly.
So if we're getting closer to Liverpool as a result of Liverpool being beaten, yes, please. But Arsenal win 1-0.
Yep.
Trossard. I think with Arsenal at the minute, Gyökeres is a problem. I think he's. I just don't think he's very good right now.
do you think?
I really don't. And I think it's telling, and this is credit to Arteta actually, that he's getting big goals in big moments from your Trossards, your Martinellis. I think this is huge for Arsenal, and I think that is what champions do, is they find the whole squad finds a way to contribute, finds a way to, when you're not exactly playing your best football, everybody will show up in big moments. The defence, we all know, great defensively, but also going forward. There's goals there from, Gabriel, traditionally, Saliba, Timber. Calafiori stepped up massively, a player who I thought was probably out of the window, really. Didn't look that great last season, apart from great goal at the Etihad or whatever. Everybody's showing up for Arsenal now, even if it's not perfect. But Gyökeres, I think, is a problem.
I think Gyökeres is someone that will eventually start clicking. And I only say that because he's not like a striker that's not involved. Like, he's just struggling to find his feet. He's very much involved in the fabric of how Arsenal play.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not finishing.
No.
And that's where it comes down to him individually. It's not about the team. It's not about how they play or anything. Things are landing on his plate. It's about him individually. And I think him individually will start clicking. I just think it's a matter of time. I don't doubt his ability. But as of right now, yeah, you could say he's underperforming in terms of putting his chances to bed. However, he is contributing to the way that Arsenal play overall. And Arsenal in this game against Fulham dominated the game pretty much. The goal from Calafiori was fantastic, which got ruled out. That was actually quite a shame. It was a very, very good instinct finish from Calafiori to put it into the top corner like that. But ruled out. But the chances that they had and everything that they actually did generate in that game, and it all comes down to a flipping corner and very bad Fulham defending, might I add, because how Trossard is picking that up. I mean, those bodies. And Trossard is at the back post, just, I'm here, mate.
Hello.
And I think it was Saliba who nodded it, and it went to Trossard, and no one is goal side of him that close to the flipping goal. I mean, Fulham. Were you not drinking Thames water or something? Like, what's going on? I don't know. But it's poor defending. But it got Arsenal the win. Considering how Arsenal played in that game and what they should have put to bed, they should have scored more.
Yeah.
But Arsenal still get the result, and that's the thing. This is why I mentioned the point that I mentioned about when Liverpool lost and we were like, oh my God, this is actually decent. Is because I honestly think Arsenal are going to hit a point where they're going to drop points.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but they will hit a bad patch of form at some point. They're not going to go win, 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 draw, win, 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 draw, win, win, and not lose. They will lose.
There's more draw potential than losses.
Or that as well. And when that does come, I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's reaction is going to be.
Well, let's see. They are top of the league right now, 19 points, looking pretty comfortable ahead of Man City and everybody else.
Yeah.
But one team that just certainly, they're never really comfortable, are they, really? Actually, no. Two teams here. One of them not very comfortable, Tottenham, very poor. But one team that are now looking really comfortable, which is quite exciting, I think, for the Premier League, because considering, like you say, everything's getting a bit closer, is Aston Villa.
Yes.
Rodgers, unbelievable goal.
They're back.
I love Morgan Rodgers. It's not a secret. And Aston Villa, 2-1. They are back. They're in great form now.
We said this on our predictions video.
Yeah.
That if Aston Villa were to go to Tottenham and get 3 points, we are now saying they're back.
Yeah.
And they did. So you're back.
Congratulations.
Aston Villa, well done. They deserve this.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It's Tottenham. But I'm surprised that Tottenham went 1-0 up in the fashion that they did. They were playing really well up until that point, and they got a really good goal. We saw the goal that they scored. Went 1-0 up. I'm like, okay, well, it's going to go in their favour then. They just let it go. It's Tottenham. I'm not surprised because it's Tottenham in that regard. It's the history of the Tottenham. I'm sorry, guys. This is what they do. But Aston Villa, very, very good resilience. Very, very good comeback. And can I say, very good finishes.
Oh.
Like, Tottenham were caught napping in those moments, thinking, we don't need to close them down. Both times, both goals, it was just space left from a distance where you're thinking he's not going to shoot. And then he does. Thank you very much.
is like a forgotten player, really, wasn't he? It seemed like a really smart signing when he first came in, and then it never really took off. He was quite an exciting player.
Yeah.
Great goal. I think for Aston Villa, it was... When you've got a good manager like that, I think it was always about like how long is it going to take to steady this a little bit, because I think it was an anomaly, really, that start to the season, which can happen. Teams can have slow starts to the season. Maybe there was a little bit of uncertainty, I think, potentially within that squad about who's going to stay, who's going to go. Obviously, Ollie Watkins was linked with moves away. Rodgers was consistently linked with moves away. And Aston Villa weren't necessarily that strong, I would say, in terms of what the window they had was. But they're looking good now. And if you look up the table, they're 4 points off Man City in second, which I hate to like put Arsenal on this pedestal, but like they are on top of the league. 3 points cleared. They're on a pedestal. Can't ignore that. So Aston Villa, unbeaten in the last 5, 3 Premier League wins in a row. And there's a lot of faltering happening ahead of them. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Aston Villa were up in the top 6 sometime soon.
It is very possible. It's very possible. This is why I say, look, it's still very early for anything to be determined. Because right now, from, as you said, from second all the way down to 11th, it's a 4-point gap.
Mad.
Anything can change. In 2 weekends, all of a sudden, boom, City could be 10th.
They could be. Chelsea could be second.
Yeah, they could be.
Come on.
So, you never know. But this is a very, very much needed result for Aston Villa. And much better from them overall, to be fair. It's the Aston Villa that we know.
That we expected.
Yeah. And that's Unai Emery. Thank you very much for the good evening. Thank you for the kind words.
Very, very good result for Villa. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2.
Well,
who'd have thunk it, eh? We certainly didn't. It was a 4-0 and a 4-1 on this YouTube channel that was shouted.
And the 5-0 off the channel from you.
Yeah, definitely didn't stick a 5 on that, did I? I did.
What were you thinking?
Well, to be honest, I saw a 5 and a 0 on the receipt from our dinner.
You did.
And I was like, screw it, 5-0, going to stick a bet on that. What an idiot. What a plonker. But there's really only one man to discuss here, isn't there? Well, there isn't actually. There's plenty.
No, there's loads, to be fair.
There's loads.
Yeah.
I'll pick one, you pick one. Ruben Amorim, I'll start with.
Oh, okay.
Well done, Ruben.
Yes.
And I'll say this about Ruben Amorim too. He's got a little knack, actually, in these big away games. Didn't he beat Man City at the Etihad as well?
Yes.
So, what is it about these kind of matches that just seem to really suit him? Man United were excellent defensively. Superb.
They were.
I think that's got a lot to do with him.
Yes, 100%. Now, the entire setup and the way that they approached the game, I thought was second to none. And overall, the way that they got that early goal, for me, because we were watching that game, when they got the early goal, I genuinely believed that for some teams, in some moments, you can score too early.
Yeah.
And I thought that was it. I was like, no, you know what? Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing you've got a goal at Anfield, but it's come way too early. You're going to have to hold on for that long against Liverpool. That's what makes this more impressive, because United did. And that's just what we were not expecting, because United looked like a team that was all over the place. But in order to get that job done, you need, once again, resilience. You need a collective that are really there for each other. And even off the ball, everyone needs to be playing their part. And to do that at Anfield against Liverpool is probably the hardest place to do it in the league.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool are so A to B and so direct, which in this game they weren't, which is just baffling. And this is where we could talk about Liverpool as well. But Man United under Amrim in this game, I thought were fantastic. The back five worked to a T. All the personnel and in all the positions they were in were spot on, offensively and defensively. They were just hard to get through and hard to get past, and they were efficient. And even after getting the equaliser, after Liverpool got that equaliser, you never would have thought, nah, United are going to go and get a winner here. You're like, that's it. Liverpool have got this. They're going to go on a rampage. And it deserves even more credit to Manchester United. So United, fair play team.
We did have a little Harry Maguire feeling, didn't we?
We did. 'Cause you called it.
Thing is,
You flipping called it.
It was more just one of like, I do this sometimes on purpose. I'll say something flippant so that I look great when it comes through. Did I actually think he was going to do it? Not really. Not really. I'll be very honest with you. I shouldn't even admit that, should I? I don't care. They
appreciate honesty.
Great result. It's a great moment. Liverpool are in. I think we should save the Liverpool chat a bit more, because we can talk about them when we talk about the Frankfurt game.
Yes.
In the later video today. But United 3 wins in their last 4. They've got Brighton next, which, as we said earlier, that's a huge game. United traditionally at Old Trafford struggle against Brighton. And Brighton, traditionally against the big teams, show up and do very well.
Yes.
As we saw at Stamford Bridge. So for Amorim, I think this is now about building upon this. Like, you can't get a bigger result as a Man United manager than going to Anfield and winning.
100%.
Especially with someone like Maguire scoring the winner. Like, I think that's such a huge moment. And I think it's like more so than any other player. Him scoring means more, I think.
It does.
Because it's just like a big middle finger.
Bro, 100%. You see, this is why the Prem is the best league in the world.
Yeah.
You can't get this anywhere else.
No.
You can't get anywhere else in the league, for example, going, okay, you know what, United are going to go to Liverpool, beat them. Oh, and by the way, Harry Maguire is going to get the winner.
A knee slide into the corner flag.
At Anfield.
Iconic.
The Prem writes its own just epic stories. It's just, I don't know how it happens. But, Harry Maguire to get that winner was just phenomenal. And for Liverpool, this is really bad. Really bad. And as you've said, we'll go into more detail on Liverpool and how they're going to approach things going forward when we do the Champions League predictions later on. But I do want to say, Liverpool now 4 losses in a row. This isn't normal.
Unprecedented territory, some would say.
This is not normal. And you could argue there's 2 main factors as to what is going on here. One predominantly being the transfer business and those players just not shining through whatsoever. The other is people probably saying, well, that's not happening because Arne Slot is not managing them correctly and they're not being used correctly and it's not clicking and he's not finding a solution. And I think both can coexist, to be fair.
I think that's a discussion that we should have later.
So be there.
Be there or be square, as they say. Final game of the weekend was West Ham 0, Brentford 2. Neither of us thought this. We both went and stuck to type and said 1-0 West Ham home win. Brentford, I think deserve a lot of credit for this, because it's easy to turn around and be like, oh, West Ham are in trouble, aren't they? But Brentford were beyond dominant, dominated possession, had more than double the amount of shots that West Ham had 5 more shots on target than West Ham with 1 shot on target at home, nearly double the amount of passes. Like, Brentford were just better on so many levels, and it leaves West Ham precariously in 19th place in the Premier League table.
Shocking, isn't it?
It's really quite bad,
It's really bad.
And it's not Nuno's fault. We're not
No.
going to. I don't think we can see West Ham going and blaming him right now. Like they just. And the problem is when you're down there in the Premier League, where did the results come from? Because this is such a competitive, tough league,
Yeah.
and they just don't have the quality.
And it's not even just that. Mentally, I think they're shot.
Yeah,
I think they're completely shot. And this is where you expect maybe a new manager to come in and try and, revitalize things and try and lift everyone up. But I think right now West Ham just do not have any balance whatsoever. And Graham Potter's probably in Sweden now laughing and going, "Ha, see, it wasn't me." Technically, it was to an extent. But good luck in Sweden, by the way. Speaking Swedish really, really well, by the way, Graham Potter. So,
well done, Gray.
Yeah.
Big Gray.
The lads gave everything. How do you say that in Swedish?
No.
What?
6 years too late, mate. Sorry.
But West Ham need, it seems like, open heart surgery at this rate. And I got to be honest, I didn't expect this against Brentford.
No.
Not like this, because they're at home. I expect them to be on the front foot. I expect them to be dominating. This is why we went with 1-0. It's not a West Ham that was so restricted under Graham Potter. I think with Nuno, there's a little bit more defensive stability there. But they literally done nothing in this game.
No,
They
was
were
a
outplayed.
poor performance.
Really, really poor. And where's it all going to go? I do think Nuno will get them a little bit more stability as the season goes on. Don't expect it now, though. Maybe in about 5-6 games, we might start seeing West Ham beginning to pluck some results out. I still don't believe they're going to go down.
Do
But
you know what?
it's going to be close.
I look at this Premier League and I'm like, what I do see is relative stability for almost the entirety of the league, apart from the three in the bottom three.
This is true.
Even Burnley and Leeds, like Leeds, there was talk about sacking the manager and whatnot, and then they got to the Premier League and then they didn't sack him. Fair enough. Burnley, I think there is stability there, but they were always going to struggle. From Fulham, Newcastle, Brentford, Everton, all the way above the bottom three, I see stability. I don't see a league where there is too much jeopardy in terms of like the ongoings at said football clubs. Like you've got, Fulham are an established Premier League club now. Newcastle are a Champions League team, for goodness sake. Brentford, I think maybe considering the squad that they've got, are overachieving right now in 13th. Everton got new stadium, great new players. Aston Villa should never have been in the bottom half of the table. Then you got the top half.
Yes.
So I think Forest, West Ham and Wolves are in trouble. Big trouble.
At the moment, the way it seems like that bottom three is nailed on. Like you said, Burnley, Leeds might not be fantastic, but they don't have instability.
No.
Right? They look like they're all on the same page, just trying. Right? But the bottom three, Forest, problems. West Ham, problems. Wolves, problems.
And it's the goal difference I'm looking at too. Like Forest -10, West Ham -12, Wolves -11. There's nobody else with double-figure minuses above that. So right now, if you support Forest, West Ham or Wolves, let us know. You're getting ready for trips to Plymouth next season if they get promoted. Championship football is beckoning. And if you're an Arsenal fan, well, book your tickets to the parade or don't. Still don't think that's going to happen.
No, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Just in case.
I do think it's going to happen. That's the annoying thing.
Well, it's a good thing we're not in London in that case, mate.
Yeah, let's stay right here.
Stay right here. I'm not going back. If Arsenal win the league, I ain't going near.
I ain't going back if
We
Chelsea
will not
win
hear
it.
the
I'll go
end of
back
it.
for when we win it, but I still ain't going back to London, mate. Anyway, enough of the politics. Subscribe to ShootOut if you haven't already done so, and stay tuned later on today. You will get No, you won't. You'll get Champions League predictions, back-to-back Champions League weeks. There's loads of content coming your way over the course of the next few days. Thank you guys for watching. See you all later.